Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm gonna give you my thoughts on episodes 6, 7, and 8 of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Alright, after another week, we come back to this series for the next 3 episodes in its disposal, I guess. And today I will have to say you that I may have been wrong about this show all along. I always thought it was pretty mediocre. I always thought it's good, but it's massively flawed. It's not as good as I hoped it would be. And I have to say that these 3 episodes really did change my opinion on a lot of these things. Not my main issues with the series, because those still stand, and my main issue being that the animation just is a little bit clunky. It's really comic booky, which I really like, but they don't utilize the comic book effect enough to make it work as a comic book effect. And I always say it completely works in the fight scenes and it never works in talk scenes. In episode 8 of this series, it became really clear to me that that was the case, because there is a scene where Peter and Pearl are in Pearl's house, and the entire animation on Pearl is ugly as fuck and really took me out of it. And what follows is a very emotional scene with Lonnie, where Lonnie confesses some things and he walks away, and then Peter goes to him and they're like, no, don't go to fight Scorpion, and then stuff like that. Hey, if you don't know, I'm gonna put spoilers in it. I should maybe put it in. I'm gonna put it before, and then you're warned for the rest of the video. I'm gonna put spoilers in this. Okay, so that being said, well, the animation there obviously fucking sucked. Episode earlier, in the biggest fight scene of the series so far with Peter fighting Scorpion, it was peak, it was beautiful, it was awesome. The animation was stunning for the entire sequence. And that episode also is my turning point for this series, where I thought like, hey, let them cook. Maybe there's something there. Because episode 6, it's okay. It had some good moments. It mostly annoyed me because now another person knows that Peter is Spider-Man. And okay, it's Nico. Of course she was gonna know, but come on. Every fucking time in this series, he didn't hold the secret for anybody. Apart from the goons, and apart from Pearl, and apart from Lonnie. But probably these guys will also know, because Lonnie is pretty closely connected to the entire Spider-Man problem until now. So I was just massively annoyed that they did it again. The good thing about Nico's perception of the entire situation with Peter being Spider-Man is that it actually has some stakes. She really doesn't like it that she didn't know. She felt betrayed. And I really loved that for her character. I really loved that for the dynamic between Peter and Nico, that was so well written. Nico and Harry, very well written. Not hearing about it for another 2 episodes, not that well written. They completely dropped the storyline to do the Scorpion thing and to do the Spider-Man thing, which I obviously like because, well, Spider-Man. But it feels like they forgot it for a second, and I hope they will get back to it in episode 9 and not on the end of episode 10 to, oh yeah, we also had this. So it had a great build-up, and then it went nowhere, and I really do hope they finish it, because now I just feel a little unsatisfied with where that conclusion leads. Then we have the entire Scorpion thing in episode 7, and I had to say that I thought the Lonnie part of that story with the Good Two gangs was really interesting. Obviously, Mac Gargan, we knew he was going to become the Scorpion. Now he did become the Scorpion, and Spider-Man lost yet another fight. One of the other main issues I had with this series is that Spider-Man just loses everything and needs help for everything. But in this fight, that changes too. Because in this fight, we obviously see that Peter is massively losing. He then comes back from it, and he does some wonderful things. And he needed help getting a plan, but he did the plan very good, and that was working. And I was like, okay. And then they upped the stakes with Peter losing insanely hard to Mac Gargan. And that was like something I did not expect this early in the series. And I was like, okay, so this is the turning point. And I really, really loved the entire episode for that. It was a really, really good episode. Even the voice actor for Peter Parker, which is not my favorite voice actor for Peter Parker to ever grace this earth, I have feelings that he's on the bottom of my list. He is good, he's just not Peter Parker in my eyes. He was very good in that episode. He actually did a tremendous job in it. It's by far the best episode of the series. Then episode 8 comes and they kind of change some of the things. The fight is forgotten, Peter heals really fast, and those things are forgotten about really fast. Then it's mostly, what does it mean to be Spider-Man? And we get some beautiful callbacks to the MCU and to the Sam Raimi universe and maybe even the Mark Webb universe. Probably, I don't know. I don't get all the references. I'm sorry. But it's a more personal episode, where episode 7 was Spider-Man's downfall, episode 8 mostly was Peter Parker's downfall. And I'm sad that they forgot Nico in it. I mean, they had a little talk in the beginning of the episode with Pearl and Peter about Nico, and that was something. And then we also had a little bit of Nico and Harry in there, which was also something, but it was not Peter and Nico, which is like the heart of the series. They moved away from Nico to push Harry forward, and I love the iteration of Harry, and I love the iteration of Norman Osborn, but I also want them to give Nico some love, and that's something they forgot. But it's the entire downfall of Peter Parker, because Peter Parker doesn't know what he has to do, and Peter Parker doesn't know what he needs to do in order to be Spider-Man, and what he needs to do in order to be the Spider-Man he wants to be. And Harry gives a beautiful speech how he is Spider-Man, and with great power surely comes great respect, but not in the way that Norman means, because he needs to use those powers as Spider-Man for good. And then Peter's like, oh, but my suit. And then I got a cheer moment, and I was totally mad that the episode ended. I was like, fuck. Because in his eyes, in his glasses, we saw the original Spider-Man suit. And I was like, oh, come on, show it to me. And then they didn't. But hey, you know, in 2 days, the last 2 episodes were released. So stay tuned for that. So in the end, I had to say that I really, really enjoyed these 3 episodes. Episode 6 was one of the weaker ones. It frustrated me a little bit, but then episode 7 turned it all around, made me fucking excited, and then episode 8 made me excited a little less, but still, on a personal note, maybe one of the most important episodes. So if they manage to knock it off in episode 9 and 10 to make it actually a really good finale, then I am totally satisfied with season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And all the inclusion of the villains like Tombstone, I don't think they will use him in this season, so now we are clear that that is not happening. So that can be good, that they are pushing that away for some moments, maybe a little bit, but they're pushing it away, and they're mostly focusing on Scorpion and him probably, and no Green Goblin and no other stuff. Maybe a little bit of Doc Ock, but he is now in custody by Iron Man, so who knows? I feel like the series is actually getting to a mostly satisfying conclusion. I just hope that the series itself manages to finish it well enough. And after these 2 or 3 episodes, I have to say that I am looking forward to it. But what about you? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on it. What did you think of these 3 episodes? Thank you for watching, and bye bye.